Have you ever had a song change on you? I mean, the song itself is the same. The notes haven't moved. The lyrics are still the same words they were yesterday. Something happens, either in your life or out in the world, and a song you've heard 1,000 times is suddenly telling a completely new story. It's not the music that was rewritten, it was the context. So how does that actually work? What does it tell us about the way we connect with music? That's what we'll explore today. A chillingly perfect example of this is unfolding right now with the artist David. For anyone who doesn't know, David exploded onto the scene with huge tracks like Romantic Homicide and Here With Me. His music has been streamed billions of times, but last month, in September of 2025, a body was discovered in an abandoned vehicle registered in his name. As the investigation unfolds and more details emerge about the victim and her alleged connection to the singer, the public perception of his music has radically shifted. Suddenly, the title Romantic Homicide doesn't just feel like edgy poetry. Lyrics that were once seen as metaphors for ending a relationship now feel chillingly literal to some listeners. A line like, "In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry, no, not a single tear," which once sounded romantic, now carries a possessive, almost threatening weight. The music hasn't changed, but the meaning has been rewritten by this new, dark context, and this phenomenon is far from unique. So what's the mechanism here? It's not magic. It's about how our brains process information. Think of it like this. Every song you hear is stored in your brain not just as audio, but as a file connected to a web of emotions, memories, and facts. This is its context. When you first heard a song, its context was simple, but when a new, powerful piece of information comes along, like a major news story or a personal life event, your brain doesn't create a new file. It opens the old one and attaches this new, jarring piece of context right on top. Now you can't access the song without going through the new layer of information. The original meaning is still there somewhere, but it's overshadowed. This recontextualization becomes incredibly powerful when an artist's life comes to a tragic end. Their own words can suddenly feel like a prophecy. Take Juice WRLD, for example. His music was always unflinchingly honest about his struggles with addiction and his anxieties about dying young. When he was alive, songs like Legends felt like a raw, emotional event about the untimely passing of his peers. But after his tragic death from an overdose in 2019, those same lyrics carry a new weight. When he sings, "What's the 27 Club? We ain't making it past 21, it's no longer just a lyric. For his fans, it's fulfilled prophecy. It's his own eulogy. The same can be said for Mac Miller's album Swimming, which felt like a journey of healing until his death reframed it as a final, beautiful struggle. But the context doesn't always have to be so tragic or tied to the artist. Sometimes it's the entire world that shifts, leaving the song behind in a new landscape of meaning. A classic case is Every Breath You Take by The Police. Sting wrote it during a painful divorce, and he intended it to be a sinister, controlling, and jealous song about surveillance. But the gentle melody and romantic phrasing tricked millions. For years, it was played at weddings as a love song. Over time, as culture became more aware of issues like stalking and obsessive behavior, the public interpretation slowly shifted back towards the song's dark, original intent. The world changed, and the song's sinister meaning finally came into focus for everyone. And sometimes, this cultural shift can push an interpretation all the way into the realm of conspiracy. J. Cole's She Knows was for years seen as a classic track about infidelity. But recently, in the wake of sweeping allegations against major figures in the music industry, some fans are now decoding the lyrics as a cryptic message about industry secrets. They point to the line, "I know she knows," theorizing that Knowles is a hidden reference to Beyonce Knowles Carter. It's a fascinating example of how a cultural moment can act as a new lens, allowing people to find patterns and meanings that were likely never there before. Finally, there's a quieter, more personal form of context change that happens as we move through life. Think about a heartbreak song you once danced to, enjoying the beat without ever really listening to the words. Years later, after you've gone through a painful breakup yourself, you hear it again. Suddenly, you resonate with the lyrics. The song you once danced to could now make you cry. Your own experience has become the most powerful context of all, completely changing the song's meaning for you. For me personally, for years I would sing along to songs like You Do by Joji and Bleed by the Kid Laroi, and even though I understood the meaning behind them, it wasn't until I lived some more life and had some more experiences that I truly began resonating with the songs and experienced them differently. All of this proves that art never exists in a vacuum. It's a conversation between the piece and the audience, and that conversation changes over time. This brings us to the big, messy question. Should we separate the art from its context, or even from the artist? There's a literary theory called the death of the author, which argues that once a piece of art is released, the artist's original intention becomes irrelevant. The only thing that matters is how the audience interprets it. And I think that's partially true. Your personal experience with the song is always valid, but I don't think it's that simple. Let's go back to David. I was a fan. I connected with his music through my own experiences. Now with this new, dark context, even with nothing proven, that personal connection is tainted. I find it almost impossible to hear the songs the way I used to. The author isn't dead for me. His alleged actions are screaming over the lyrics. My interpretation wasn't just changed, it feels like it was hijacked by this new reality. So, can you separate them? If he's found guilty, is it morally okay to still stream his music? If he's found innocent, can the public consciousness ever go back to hearing those songs the way we did before? I don't know, but it's something to think about. So whether it's a tragic death, a massive world event, a wild internet theory, or just the simple act of growing up, the meaning of a song is never truly set in stone. Music is a living thing, shaped by the world around it and by our own changing lives. The song stays the same, but we don't. And that's what makes music so powerful. I'd love to hear your own examples. What's a song whose meaning completely flipped for you, and why? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thanks for watching.